Wakego, don't tell me to calm down. If you had chained this dog that you call a daughter, this village would have been more peaceful. Did you not see what she did to my son? 2 teeth, 2, are missing. She removed his teeth. His eyes are swollen, as big as a mango. She went as far as filling his mouth with sand. Sand, Wakego. I could not even recognize my son when I saw him. It was a cool evening in Adazi. As usual, it was the end of the workday. The men would be in their obi, a fine room where they rested with a pot of fresh palm wine and entertained visitors. The mothers would be in the kitchen, preparing dinner, while the young maidens would either be on their way to the stream to fetch water or on their way to the bush to fetch firewood. This was the normal flow of daily activities in Adazi. The routine was always the same in every household. But on this particular day, it was not so for Mama Urenna. Wakego was a somewhat young woman who had lost her husband early in life, and if care is not taken, she would be joining him very soon, because Urena, her only child, was determined to cut her lifespan short. Urena and her mother had just returned from the farm, and while she prepared their evening meal, Urena was to go to the stream to fetch water. A simple task, Abi. But an hour passed, and then 2 hours, and Urena had not returned from the stream. Wakego began to worry. Mind you, she was not worried that something bad had happened to Urena. No. She feared that someone somewhere had already lost a tooth, or had a bleeding nose, or worse, a broken arm. It was not long her fear was confirmed. A young maiden ran into her compound, shouting, Mama, 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 come oh, Urena wants to kill somebody. Wakego quickly ran out of the kitchen, panicking. Kill somebody, kwa? How? What happened? The girl was breathing fast. Mama, you have to come fast. It's a dossier. Urena is about to kill him. The girl took off again, and Wakego, clutching her wrapper tight, followed her, shouting, Ewuchimo, Urena o, Urena bikozenu. By the time Wakego reached there, the fight was over. Urena stood in front, feeling victorious and looking down at the unmoving Edozie. Breathing heavily, she said, After today, if you see a woman passing, you will run. Wakego quickly bent down to confirm that Edozie was still alive. Thankfully, he was. He opened his eyes and tried to get up. It was difficult because Urena had pounded him like yam. One eye was swollen, and his mouth had been filled with sand. Edozie managed to get up. He did not bother to look up at the maidens that were eagerly watching. He just put his head down and managed to drag himself home. Wakego turned to her daughter. Why are you doing this, Urena? Why? Anger suddenly filled her. Urena! Urena! Continue. Champion! Continue. One day you will get into serious trouble and I will just be looking at you. Ngwa! To the house, Wakego said, pointing towards the direction of their house. Urena quietly went to the corner of the bush, carried her water pot, and followed her mother. There was no one in the whole of Adazi that did not know Urena. The girl loved to fight and beat up anybody beatable, whether man or woman, boy or girl. She did not care. The truth is that Urena was not a troublesome person. She was actually very kind-hearted and friendly if you were patient enough to understand her. But anyone that was unfortunate enough to fall into her trap or step on her toes got exactly what they were looking for. Just the way Adazi had gotten his own share that day. All her age mates were married, but no one was coming to ask for Urena's hand in marriage. It's not that she was ugly, no. Urena was a very beautiful girl, but the problem was that the men feared to marry a woman like her. No mother would even let her son think about marrying Urena. But was Urena bothered? Never. If she was, she did not show it at all. Nwakego remained quiet all through that evening. The woman was obviously tired of talking to Urena. She had tried every way possible to make Urena control her urge to always want to deal with someone, but her talk always fell on deaf ears. They had their evening meal in silence. Urena watched her mother cautiously throughout, willing her to say something. At least give her a chance to explain what happened. But her mother's face remained stronger than cement that has been mixed with water. As mother and daughter sat in front of their house, eating in silence, each one lost in their own world, a loud noise interrupted their thoughts. It was a woman shouting, and her voice seemed to come closer each second. Where is that useless girl that they call Urena? Where is she? I will make sure that after I deal with you, you will not have the guts to touch anybody in this village again. It was one Nepa, Adazi's mother. She had obviously come to take revenge on Urena because Adazi's elder brother had come with her, fuming. Urena and her mother stood up immediately. They came closer. They already knew why Adazi's mother was there. They had relived this particular moment plenty times. One Nepa, please calm down. I know you are angry, but please, no. Nwakego, don't tell me to calm down. If you had chained this dog that you call a daughter, this village would have been more peaceful. One Nepa was vibrating with rage. Did you not see what she did to my son? 2 teeth, 2. Are missing. She removed his teeth. His eyes are swollen, as big as a mango. She went as far as filling his mouth with sand. Sand, Nwakego. I could not even recognize my son when I saw him. You are now begging me to calm down. Mama Adazi went closer to one Nepa. Nne, Biko, forgive her. You know Urena does not listen. Please, don't worry, I will pay the healers to treat Adazi. I will take responsibility for it. One Nepa hissed and pointed her fingers into Nwakego's face. Nwakego, I did not ask for your money. I did not tell you I was hungry. Train your daughter. You did not train this girl at all. Cha-cha! And since you cannot train her, today I have come to train her well for you. Urena, who had been standing quietly, could not take it anymore. She stepped forward, her heart boiling. Bia, Mama Adazi, I've been respecting you. Don't point at my mother like that again. Don't try it. You that trained your son, did he tell you what he did? You don't even have shame. You are here vibrating and spreading your shoulders like an overgrown turkey because a girl beat your son. Urena, her mother cautioned. Urena did not even look at her mother. Mama, wait first, let me tell these people the truth. She turned her attention to one Nepa. See, Makachi, if Adazi was my son and he comes home like that to tell me that a girl put him in that condition, if I get him, I will pound him like cocoyam. He will not be able to get up for 10 days. You are now here shouting. Shame. Hey, when Nneka exclaimed, Ego, see your daughter's mouth running. Don't worry. Today, you will learn a bitter lesson. She signaled to her son, who seemed to have been waiting for his cue to take over. The young man pounced on Urenna. Unfortunately, Urenna, who had mastered the art of fighting, saw him coming. She bent swiftly, dodging his blow, and landed her head in his stomach to throw him off balance, then promptly kicked his legs, sending him straight to the ground. Urena sat on top of him and started pounding. His mother was shouting, Nnabuike, get up! Stand up and show her that you're a man! For where Nnabuike was already pinned to the ground, his 2 hands pinned under Urena's knees. Mama Urena, out of fear, started begging Urena to stop. It was her mother's voice that cut through her and saved Nnabuike. She intended to give Nnabuike a double portion of what she had given to his brother. But no matter how stubborn Urena could be, her mother's voice would always calm her down. She got up and let go of Nnabuike. By this time, Nneka was filled with shame. She quietly helped her son get up. They turned and left the compound. Mama Urena turned to face her daughter. Urena, why are you like this? Why do you enjoy fighting? Not just fighting, beating up people. Are you not tired? Urena became upset. Mama, you did not even ask me what Adazi did that made me to beat him. And shebi you were here when his mother was running her mouth. Did I touch you, Nnabuike? Was it not the one that came first? I would defend myself now. Nwakego shook her head. Ngwa, champion fighter, Urena the Great, tell me, what did Adazi do that made you beat him up like that? Urena said, this is what you should have asked me since. So the other maidens and I were on our own, returning from the stream, talking and laughing happily. The next thing, Adazi unexpectedly jumps out of the bush with his face covered with leaves. That was how everywhere scattered. Everybody ran. Even Chinelo and Nkemka fell down and broke their water pots in the process. The next thing, Adazi unwraps his face and starts laughing. Laughing as if it was funny. He said we were running like chickens. I asked him to apologize. Adazi refused. The one that pained me the most was that Adazi looked at me and told me that I should mind the way I talk to him, that I think he's one of those small children that I used to bully in the village. So I decided to show him small. Nwakego shook her head again. So you showed him small by removing 2 teeth, closing one eyes, and then filling his mouth with sand. What if that boy had died? But he did not die now. Who dies from that small beating I gave him? Come on, keep quiet. Nwakego scolded harshly. What Adazi did was not good, true. But I have begged you, Urena. Fighting will not solve a problem. It can only create more problems like this one. Moreover, if you keep fighting like this, which man will marry you? Already, all the young men in this village are afraid of you. Urena laughed. Here, Mama, you call those ones men. The likes of Nnabuike and Adazi too are part of the men. Hey, Mama, those ones are chewing gum boys. Nwakego was speechless. She quietly stood up and went inside her room. Trying to see reasons with Urena was always a waste of time. The girl never listened. But even as she lay in bed, She kept tossing and turning. She was unable to sleep. She was deeply troubled by the way her daughter behaved. Urena was just like her father, who was the strongest wrestler in Adazi. And she had gotten his strength too, unfortunately. But she needed to control herself before she landed herself in serious trouble. Just then, a thought struck Nwakego. She thought that maybe if Urena left the village, it would help her focus and maybe become less tempted to fight. The thought started to take root in Nwakego's mind, and it made more sense to her with each second that passed. She thought about Adego, her elder sister who now lived in the city with her husband. She would reach out to Auntie Adego. Maybe she could help Urena get a job in the city. At least a job would keep her so busy that she could not think about fighting. Surprisingly, when Nwakego told Urena about the idea of going to the city, Urena's eyes lit up. Lagos, me, the city, mama, I will go. Nwakego blinked twice. She had expected resistance and even a lot of drama, but instead her daughter was already dreaming out loud. Do you know I've been longing to go to the city? Urena grinned. Mama, let me just reach Lagos. Small time, I will blow. I will start doing business like Auntie Adego and I will send you big money every month. You will see. Nwakego chuckled lightly, but her smile was touched with sadness. Urena was excited, yes, but the woman knew she would miss her daughter deeply. Urena too felt it. Behind her excitement was a quiet fear of leaving her mother alone. Mama, but what about you? Who will help you in the farm? Who will keep you company? I'll be fine, Nwakego said. Don't worry about me, just go and try to be better. The next week, news came from the city. Auntie Adego had agreed. Urena could come and she would help us secure a good job. But the condition was that she must be of good behavior. With that settled, preparations started for her journey. The night before the journey, Nwakego called her daughter to sit with her. The compound was quiet, save for the occasional sound of crickets. My daughter, she began, tomorrow you will go to the city. Life in Lagos is not like Adazi. Urena shifted and listened carefully. If you fight in the city and injure someone, you will be in trouble. This is not the kind of place where people will laugh and go and gist about it. You can be arrested. You can go to prison. Mind your business. If you see people quarreling, face front. If someone steps on you, ignore them. If they abuse you, pretend you did not hear. Anything that doesn't concern you, don't enter. Urena frowned. So, Mama, are you saying that if somebody insults me, I should just be quiet and go and just leave the person like that? Yes, that is what I'm saying. Okay. And if somebody grabs me by the neck and shakes me like chicken, I should just smile. Nwakego sighed, already tired. I did not say you should allow yourself to be killed. If anyone attacks you, defend yourself, but know when to stop. I beg you in the name of God, Urena, try and avoid wahala and make me proud. Urena nodded solemnly. Yes, Mama, I promise. I will behave. No fighting. Very early the next morning, Nwakego and Urena arrived at the Nkwo Market Park. The air smelled of exhaust pipes and dry pepper. Buses honked. Traders shouted prices. It was noisy. Everywhere was chaotic. Nwakego helped her daughter squeeze her bag into the boot of the bus. My child, God will go with you. Amen. Don't forget your promise. I won't, Mama, Urena replied. They hugged for a long time, and then she boarded the bus. The bus drove off, taking Urena away from everything she had ever known. After a bumpy 7-hour journey filled with loud gospel music, one crying baby and 2 passengers arguing over the window space, the bus finally pulled into a crowded Lagos park at 3 p.m. Urena stepped out and looked around in awe. The noise here was louder. The people walked faster. The air smelled like fried plantain and motor oil. So this is Lagos, she thought. She clutched her bag and sat on one of the benches, waiting for her aunt, who was supposed to pick her from the back. Then suddenly, there was chaos. A young woman was shouting and dragging her bag with a man who looked like a conductor. Oga, give me my balance, so you think I will leave my money for you? People walked past them like it was none of their business. But not Urena. She dropped her bag sharply and stomped towards them. Oga, what is it? Why are you dragging bag with this auntie? What is happening here? The man in his hurry shoved her roughly to the ground. Come on, dear. Mind your business. Urena fell to the ground. The crowd laughed. That laughter, that was her trigger. Urena got up like a lioness and pounced. Before the man could adjust his trousers, she had grabbed him by the shirt and sent him crashing to the ground. What followed was a rain of punches that felt nothing like a woman's punch. People screamed. Men ran forward to separate them. But Urena held tight. Like the fight owed her money, she had gummed him like chewing gum. That was the exact scene Auntie Adego met. Urena, she shouted. Hearing her name shocked her back to reality. She sprang up. The man, looking dazed, also jumped up, ready to retaliate, but some men held him back. Leave me, let me show her. She thinks she's Mike Tyson, Abi. Whoa, look at my mouth. Auntie Adego stepped forward quickly, apologizing on her niece's behalf. She gave the man money to treat his wounds. She didn't say a word to Urena. At first, she just turned and walked towards her car. Go and get your bag, she said flatly. Urena turned to the bench she had sat on earlier. She froze. The bag was gone. Her eyes widened. She looked left, right, under the bench, behind it. She looked around confused. I kept that bag here. Auntie, I was sitting here, she said, demonstrating her previous actions. I looked up. I saw that man bullying that auntie. I stood up. I dropped the bag here. I went front. She looked around again. So where's my bag? Auntie Adego shook her head. Your bag is gone, Urena. Someone has carried it. Let us go home. Urena was shocked. Someone carried it. Like, they thief it. Abi, they want to hold it for me. Urena, your bag has been stolen. This is Lagos. You must shine your eyes here. This is lesson number 1. Urena stood in shock, blinking. But, Auntie, my clothes are inside. Let's go, Adego said sharply, walking away again towards her car. Urena followed like an obedient puppy. The journey to Auntie Adego's house was awkwardly silent. Urena was lost in the wonder of the city, and Auntie Adego was thinking of the best way to handle what had just happened at the park. Suddenly, Urena remembered her stolen bags. She faced Auntie Adego again. Hey, Auntie, but these Lagos people are wicked though. I just get my bag and fiam, someone just thief it like that. Ha! If it were in Adazi, nobody can try it with me. This is not Adazi, Auntie interrupted. This is Lagos, and here nobody knows you. You see that thing you did there? Let it not ever happen again. Auntie, that was not even my fault though. You needed to see the way that man was dragging that auntie like that. Me, I just wanted to ask what happened. That was how he pushed me down. I nearly broke my hand. Auntie Adego was still not convinced. He pushed you down because you were not minding your business. This is a big city with different kinds of people in it. That is why people here face what concerns them. That man could have been holding a knife or a dangerous weapon. Urena, your mother has told me a lot of things, and I want you to know that this place is not Adazi. And the people here are not nice like the people in Adazi. Do you understand? Yes, Auntie, Urena said, nodding her head solemnly. Good, Auntie Adego said. I have arranged for a job for you. You will be starting tomorrow. Urena's face lit up. Really? Ha! Very soon I will start making plenty money and start sending to my mother. I will now be a big city girl. Urena, calm down, Auntie said, laughing. You have not even asked me what kind of job it is. Ah, it's true. Will I be selling something in all these big stores? Auntie shook her head. No. My friend's son is in need of a housekeeper, so I recommended you. I told him you were a good girl and very hardworking, so he has accepted to employ you because of me. He will pay you 40,000 naira monthly, and you will have free accommodation and food. And most importantly, you will face your work and mind your business. Urena watched her auntie speak, confusion written all over her face. But Auntie, wait though, I don't understand. That I will be a housekeeper. Like, I will carry somebody's house and keep it. How? Auntie laughed. That is not what it means. It means that you will take care of the house, clean it, make sure everywhere is organized, wash clothes. In fact, make sure everything is in order generally. Okay, Urena said, realization setting in. That is like maid now. Yes, Auntie Adego said, but here we call it housekeeping. That one is not a problem now. I can clean this whole Lagos in one day. Ask my mother. I'm very hardworking, she boasted. Auntie Adego nodded, smiling to herself. Urena was to work for Nonso, OBDK. Nonso was a young man in his late 20s, born into a very wealthy family. So it is safe to say that from his early days, he had his future already carved out for him. However, he was hardworking and responsible, and to his father's disappointment, had chosen a different career path. Nonso wanted to be an artist. In fact, had gone ahead to become an artist. He loved painting and was very talented too. He went against his father's desire for him to study and learn the family's business. But today, he had carved out a successful career for himself. Nonso lived in a very big and beautiful house he owned. A house obviously too big for a single man to live in. However, he had domestic staff that kept the house running. There was a cook, a gardener, a gatekeeper, and a housekeeper who Urena would now be replacing. On the day Auntie Adego brought Urena to her new place of work, Urena felt like she had walked into a dream. She had never seen anything so beautiful in her entire life. Auntie, This house is fine, no? Huh? It's doing me as if I'm in heaven. This man has plenty money, oh. Where did he see all this money from? Auntie Adego tapped her gently. Urena, remember what we talked about. You are here to do your job and mind your business. Before Urena could think of a response, Nonso walked in to greet them. He and Auntie Adego exchanged pleasantries, and Auntie moved straight to introduce Urena to him. This is Urena, the girl I told you about. Urena greeted him respectfully, even though her mind was still trying to process how young he was. Nonso seemed to like her because he welcomed her warmly and then went ahead to introduce her to the other domestic staffs. Then he opened a door to a small but neatly furnished room. This will be your room, he said. Urena's eyes grew wide. My own room? Only me? Inside this fine room? Yes. You will start work tomorrow morning. Mama Pat will show you what's expected. Thank you, sir. She beamed, already bouncing inside to test the bed. Auntie Adego, watching from behind, gave her that look that said, "Don't embarrass me." And Urena quickly rearranged herself. As Auntie Adego said her goodbyes and prepared to leave, she pulled Urena aside one last time. Remember, Urena, Lagos is not Adazi. Work hard, keep your head down, and let your hands rest. Urena nodded. I hear you, Auntie. I will behave. Even if someone slaps me, I will just smile and say thank you. That's how changed I am. Auntie Adego raised an eyebrow, but said nothing. She just gave her a small pat on the back and left. Urena stood at the doorway, hands on her waist, smiling. City girl, here I come. Truly, Urena was determined to mind her business, just as Auntie Adego had advised. But somehow, something was always there to tempt her. That same day she arrived, it was almost time for dinner, and she decided to assist Mama Pat, the cook, in the kitchen when she heard a loud noise, followed by what was unmistakably a woman lashing out angrily at someone. You are a coward, Nonso. Be a man for once in your life and live up to expectations. Whether you like it or not, you must step up and take control of your father's empire. So you want to leave it all to your brother because you like to play around with colors like a child. Grow up, Nonso. Grow up. There was silence, and in the next minute, the voice started ranting again, insults flying around like bullets. Yay! Urena said in surprise, facing Mama Pat. What is happening up there? Is it our Oga that lady is talking to like that? Pat smiled. You have not even seen anything. This one self is small. You don't mean it. And Oga will keep her quiet. Like he will not do her anything. Oga is a gentleman, Mama Pat replied as she kept cutting up vegetables. Urena started vibrating. Ha! If I were Oga, I would have reshaped her face by now. In fact, as I'm hearing her voice now, it's just doing me as if I should just go there and carry her up and land her waist on the ground. Beat her very well like a small baby so that she will learn respect. Mama Pat laughed. She thought Urena was just being dramatic. But Urena knew that she meant every single word she was saying. As a matter of fact, it was costing her a great deal of self-control not to walk upstairs and do as she had said. But she had promised to mind her business, and so she would at least do that for as long as she could. The next day, Urena started her duties full time. She was up as early as 5 a.m. and before it was 10 a.m. she had cleaned out the whole house, washed the toilets. Mama Pat took the liberty of teaching her how to use the washing machine. Urena could not believe that one could just throw clothes inside a machine and it would wash itself. In her excitement, she had washed almost every single thing in the house, and to her delight, her oga was impressed. The first day went well, and she resolved in her heart to make sure everything continued to sail smoothly. Weeks passed, and Urena had started to enjoy her new job. She had even started to learn how to ignore the urge to beat up Belinda, Oga's wife-to-be, when she started ranting like a wild animal. She now followed Mama Pat to the market anytime she went to stock up the house. It gave her the opportunity to move around and see places. Urena was enjoying her new life, and it looked like trouble had started to avoid her, or so she thought, until one hot Friday afternoon. Mama Pat had the day off, so she had gone home early that morning. Oga was out to attend to some business, and so Urena was home alone with the security man. Some men dressed in overalls knocked the front door, and Urena went to see who it was. The men were asking to see Oga. Unfortunately, Oga was not around. They said they were from the power holding company and wanted to see the light bill. Urena had no idea what it was, and she told them so, but the men looked like they doubted her. They insisted that if they did not see the light bill, then they would disconnect the light. The whole thing then started to make sense to Urena. They needed to confirm payment before deciding if they would disconnect the light or not. She smiled at them sweetly. Please, don't disconnect the light though. My oga no dey around. Maybe you should come back later. One of the men started ranting angrily. Do you think I'm playing here? He signaled to the other one. Carry the ladder up and remove their wire. Nonsense. They think we are here to play. Cut the light. The man, who was probably the oga, stormed out of the gate and into the next compound. Urena watched patiently as the other man set the ladder on the pole and started climbing. She already knew what she was going to do to him. As soon as he reached the top, Urena went straight to the ladder and started shaking it. The man at the top started screaming and held on to the pole for his dear life. Urena did not stop. She kept on shaking the pole until she was able to pull it out from under him. The man hugged the pole like his life depended on it. And truly, it did depend on it. As soon as she brought down the ladder, she signaled to the security man, who ran forward, still shocked by her courage. Musa and Urena carried the ladder inside through the back door and locked it in there. Meanwhile, the man on the pole was still there, shouting for help. About 10 minutes after Urena had locked the ladder inside, the shouting from the man still hanging on the pole began drawing attention. Help! Oh! Somebody help me! I no be thief oh! Somebody help! Oh! People passing by slowed down, eyes searching for the voice. Then someone looked up and shouted, Hey! See one man on top pole. Another person burst out laughing. Oh man, a Nepa man oh. This one don't enter one chance. Soon a small crowd gathered outside the compound gates, some laughing, others already filming with their phones. Inside the compound, Urena stood confidently by the locked gates, arms folded like a security commander. The second Nepa man, who had stormed off earlier, had returned, banging on the gate. Open this gate! Are you mad? Release our ladder! Let my colleague come down, or else you will see my true colors. For where? Urena snapped. He will come down when my oga comes back. Shebi, I told you that I don't know anything about light bill. I said come back later. Did you hear me? No. Now sit down and wait with him. Abi, fly up and bring him down. The man hissed and resumed ranting, but it fell on deaf ears. The man on the pole, meanwhile, had gone from bold to broken. Sweat soaked through his uniform, his hands were trembling, and his voice had turned to pleading. Sister, I beg. I have wife and children. I swear I will not come back to your compound again. Please, pity me. Let me calm down. Urena rolled her eyes. You should have thought about your wife and children before deciding to be stubborn. Stay there. 35 minutes later, Nonso pulled up at the front of his house in a black SUV, only to meet a small crowd, still giggling and recording the drama from outside. Musa quickly opened the gate and Nonso drove in. As soon as he stepped out of the car, he looked around in confusion. What is going on here? Oga, check your pole, someone shouted from outside. Nonso tilted his head upward and froze. There, hanging on the electric pole, like a frightened monkey, was a grown man in Nepa uniform. What in the world? He whispered, stunned. That was when Urena came out from behind the building, grinning like someone who had just discovered a major scientific solution. Oga, welcome. Thank God you are back. Nonso turned sharply to her. Urena, what is going on here? She dusted her hands proudly. Oga, let me tell you. 2 men came earlier. They said they are from Nepa, that they want to see Bill. I told them you are not around and I don't know anything about light bill, that they should come back later. But they said lie, they must cut our lights today. Nonso's brows furrowed. So what happened? Urena smiled. So I allowed one of them to climb the pole. Then I removed the ladder. I told him to wait there until you come back. You did what? Nonso roared, stepping forward. Urena, what if he had fallen and died? Do you know the kind of trouble that would bring? He pressed his hand against his forehead and sighed deeply. Where is the ladder? Bring it out now. Urena rushed in and with Musa's help brought out the ladder. The man on the pole was helped down slowly, his hands shaking, knees almost collapsing under him. He didn't even speak. He just sat on the pavement, breathing like someone who had run all the way from Ghana to Nigeria. Then the second Nepa man exploded. Una don craze. Una dey mad. You lock person on top pole like chicken. I will report you. We will carry you to court. In fact, when we finish dealing with you. Please, calm down, Nonso said, interrupting the man, trying to diffuse the tension. I'm very sorry. She's new. She didn't mean any harm. But wanted to kill someone, Abi. Do you know that he could have fallen from there? I know, and I'm truly sorry, Nonso said again, reaching into his wallet. Let me make it up to you. He handed them a bundle of cash, 20,000 naira. The 2 men looked at each other and then looked at the money. Okay, the angry one finally said, grabbing the cash. Now God save you now. Thank your God that I'm a nice man. If not, I would have dealt with you people mercilessly. They walked away without even remembering to check the bill that had started it all. But one thing was certain, those men were never coming back again. As the gates closed behind them, Nonso turned to Urena slowly. Urena, why did you do that? Oga, I just said I should teach that man small lesson. If I did not do like that, they will remove our light though. Nonso's face remained firm. You should have called me first. All this would have been avoided. Urena seemed to think, Oga, I don't think I'm like that though. Sorry, sir. I just wanted to help you. It's fine. Next time, please, call me. Call. That's why I gave you a phone. He walked inside, smiling to himself. The truth was that he thoroughly enjoyed watching what Urena did to those men, because in truth, they deserved it. They knew he never owed light bills. All they were looking for was a means to extort money. They got the money they came for, but then they paid dearly for it. He smiled as he crashed into his bed. This Urena girl was something else, he thought to himself. Life continued as normal for Urena. However, Musa and Mama Pat never stopped teasing her about it. She had come to love them and see them as family. She loved her Oga too. He was a nice man who treated all his household staff with respect and showed appreciation for the smallest things, even though he paid for those things. Urena missed her mother very much, and she made it a point of duty to call her every day, all thanks to Auntie Adego, who had given her mother a small phone. But besides that, she was happy. The only thing that bothered her was Belinda, her Oga's fiancée. The girl was so loud and disrespectful. She talked to Nonso however she liked, wherever she liked, and in front of whoever. What pained Urena the most was that her Oga would just walk away when she started, like he would never stay and banter words with her, or better still, give her one correct slap that would reset her brain. She knew it was none of her business, but she wished that she could just get the chance to deal with Belinda small. However, Urena was still determined to mind her business, until one Sunday afternoon, Belinda visited, and they were having lunch and what seemed to be a normal conversation. The next thing, Belinda flared up. What do you mean by that, Nonso? I will not sit back and watch you do that. Then leave. Nonso fired back. I'm tired of having you talk down on me every single day. I did not even want this marriage anyway, so I don't know why my parents keep forcing it. If you are so keen on marrying the CEO of Obitex Groups, then go and marry my brother. Or better still, be my father's second wife. I'm a man and have made my decision. Deal with it. Belinda stood up, clapping and laughing mischievously. Bravo. Nonso, bravo. You call yourself a man. Man my foot. What kind of man would leave all that wealth behind because he wants to paint some useless pictures for people to admire? Tell me, who does that? You're willing to sit back and let your brother take control of everything? You are nothing but a disgrace to your family, a total embarrassment, a failure. Your father would be hiding his face in shame by now. Nonso was visibly boiling, but he was doing his best to control his rage. Thankfully, Belinda went upstairs, picked up her bag and stormed out of the house. Urena was boiling in the kitchen. She was pacing about, trying to find a way to cool the fire burning inside her. Mama Pat looked at her. Urena, why do you let this girl bother you so much? This does not concern you. It is between her and Oga. So why will you carry their matter on top of your head like this? Urena stopped pacing. Mama Pat, I don't understand. Does it mean that you all are comfortable with the way that girl talks to Oga Hey, somebody will not talk to me like that though, especially not a woman that I plan to marry. That girl is disrespectful. Her mouth has diarrhea and needs medicine. If I have opportunity to catch that girl, I will deal with her and teach her how to talk with respect. Mama Pat laughed. Urena, you are always wanting to deal with people. How many power do you even have? Urena laughed. Mama Pat, you don't know me. Go to my village and ask of me. They will tell you. I deal with anybody that tries rubbish, whether man or woman. In fact, that was why my mother made me leave the village. They know Urena very well now. I don't take nonsense. You see that Nepa man that day? I just pitied him because I promised my mother and Auntie Adego that I have changed. If not, I would have beaten him very well. That Belinda is a small challenge. Akamukes, if I finish dealing with her, her mouth will not be able to open for months. Somehow, Mama Paz did not doubt her one bit. She had always sensed that Urena was stubborn. And what she did to that Nepa man was proof. For the rest of that day, Urena was feeling uncomfortable. By night, she had decided to approach her Oga. Nonso was in his studio when he heard a knock on the door. Come in, he said absent-mindedly. He expected Mama Pat and her someone since he had refused to eat dinner. But he was surprised to see Urena instead. He became worried when he saw the look on her face. Is anything the matter? Please, don't tell me you want to resign. No sir, Urena replied defensively. Okay, so how may I help you? Oga, there is something I want to discuss with you, and I don't want you to be angry if I say it. What do you want, Urena? He asked again. Oga, this thing has been bothering me. I know it's not my business though, but I just want to say it. Please go straight to the point, Urena. What is the matter? He said, cutting her short. Oga, it's about that your wife, Belinda. The way she talks to you is very bad. Very, very bad. I try to mind my business though, but every time she's talking like that, my heart will just be doing beam, beam, beam. It's just doing me as if she's talking to me. It pains me so much. I cannot even sleep. It's enough, Urena. He smiled politely, cutting her short. Firstly, she is not my wife. And secondly, you are right. It is not your business. However, I appreciate your concern, he said dismissively. Urena did not take his cue. She continued, sir, don't be annoyed though. I want to ask, why do you keep that girl quiet? You're supposed to deal with her, even if it's just one slap, so that she will learn small respect. Are you sure you can marry that girl like this? It's not my business though. It's just that you're a good man. That girl is bad. Nonso took a deep breath. Urena, thank you for your concern again. But whatever goes on between Belinda and I is none of your concern. So stick to your job. And secondly, where I come from, a man never beats a woman. So no, I cannot give her one slap. Good night. Yes, sir, Urena said as she turned to leave. But after taking a few steps, she turned back. But sir, what is it, Urena? He snapped. Sir, sorry to disturb you. Sorry, sir, but I want to ask you. Since you cannot deal with her, as a man, you say a man cannot beat a woman where you come from. That's good though, that's good. But will you be angry if somebody, like another person, help you to deal with her. Nonso gave her a serious look. What does that even mean? I mean that, will you be angry if I help you to just deal with her small? Because that girl does not have home training. If I handle her, she will... Hey! Nonso snapped, cutting her short. Urena, I will pretend we did not have this conversation. Do not, and I repeat, do not interfere with Belinda and I. It does not concern you. But sir, you don't even like her. You said it today. Urenna, he exclaimed angrily. Sorry sir, she said, hurriedly leaving the room. Nonso felt his head was already hot. He told himself that the girl was just showing concern towards him, and he must admit it. As much as it triggered him and annoyed him, it felt good to have someone actually pay attention and show him care, support and loyalty. But still, he did not want her in his affairs. Urena was disappointed that her Oga did not give her the go-ahead she wanted. She decided to stay on her own, stay away, and mind her business. But then, Urena never truly listens. One bright Wednesday morning, Belinda came visiting again. Urena was cleaning when she heard the knock on the front door. She quickly dropped the mop and went to open it. As always, Belinda stood there, tall, holding her designer bag like it was carrying gold bars. Urena greeted her with forced politeness. Good morning, madam. You are welcome. Belinda didn't even blink. She didn't nod. She didn't breathe in Urena's direction. She simply walked past her like she did not exist. Urena blinked. She turned slowly. Excuse me, madam, she called. Is it that you don't have home training, or you were born with bad character normally? Belinda froze mid-step and turned around in slow motion. Are you talking to me? Urena looked around, arms spread wide. Is it not only the two of us standing here? Belinda's mouth flew open. How dare you open that filthy, poverty-stricken mouth to speak to me? You must be mad. Have you lost your mind? Urena laughed. So, small talk I talk. Now, you are angry. You are vibrating like that small generator in Mama Shaki shop. But every day, you will be talking to my Oga anyhow. Your mouth will be running like tap. Fine girl like you, your mouth will be dirty like gutter. My Oga did try. Before Urena could complete her poetic analysis, Bosa! Belinda landed her a dirty slap across her cheek. That was the worst thing she could have ever done, because Urena's eyes had already lit up and was ready for battle.